Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where OP's wife tried to make him leave, but instead, he locked her out like a true man of culture. Let's begin. My wife has been caught cheating. Posted by Reddit user tapping out 123.
TLDR. The wife and I are building a business together. We are almost done. I found out she is sleeping with a coworker. Let me start with some background. My wife and I are both 54. Married 31 years. She is a registered nurse at a hospital. I work for a home builder since I was 18. We have 2 children, both grown out of the house in their 20s. We decided in our mid-40s to pursue my wife's dream of running a bed and breakfast. We have been looking on and off for years. We came across a piece of property of 5 acres and a home built in the 1870s. The original owners were large landowners in this area. They had an extensive agricultural business empire. Over the decades, fewer of the family wanted to stay in farming. Parcels of land were sold off. Our town is going through growing spurts, as it has become quite touristy because of some, let's say, natural formations and beauty. The farmland along the main highways is being gobbled up. The house and land we purchased is away from the highways. Since we bought it, my wife and I are redoing the entire house. There has been neglect in some basic maintenance, and we want to restore the house to its prominence 150 years ago. Along with making a living. My wife has been in charge of decorating rooms as I finish along with paying the mortgage. I am renovating room by room, paying for all material and any professional help, if needed. I am pretty handy, so most work is done by me. The last few years the housing industry has gone through the roof. We would work 8 days a week if we could. I was pulling in big money. Until last year. The pandemic knocked us out of work for a while in 2020, then the material shortages started. Of course, my wife was on the front lines for the last 18 months. Last year she worked weeks at the hospital without days off. The medical staff stayed at the hospital. They had rooms several slept in together. To say the least, the staff got very close. They worked 4 weeks on 2 weeks off. Starting in March last year into the fall, then again after Thanksgiving. My wife has always, after the kids were older, worked for others if they asked. She watched these young parents crying because they could not see their families. So, on their off times she would give up her time off and offer it to the staff that really needed it. There were others that did this too. The whole COVID experience changed her. Watching people put on ventilators, the deaths, etc. She was not the same person. She was distant. Our sex life went to zero. I attributed it to either her experiences or her age. I tried talking about it, but was told she just didn't feel it anymore. We still worked closely on the house. We planned trips to an area in our state that had a large Amish population. The Amish here are known for the craftsmanship in woodworking and sewing. We bought several pieces of furniture for the bedrooms, along with handmade quilts. This past weekend, we were planning on taking a 3-day trip to this area to buy dining room furniture. I also pay and trade with some wood that I get when I take down an old barn, which I do as a side gig. Barnwood is very much in demand. My boss calls me and tells me everyone is working the whole week as he was able to get wood and shingles for a house we have been sitting on, waiting for supplies. I told the wife we could go on Saturday and Sunday. On Friday morning, she tells me she is still going with some workers because there is a fall festival going on too. I go to a local bar that night. One of her coworkers comes up to say hello. I ask if she was going on the trip. She knew nothing about it. So, I texted the wife asking if she made it okay and asked who was all there with her. She texted back that this friend, her other close friend, and a friend called Stevie. I had heard this name the last few months. Until then, I always thought they were female. I asked her friend at the bar if she knew this, Stevie. She said no, but there is a Steven that works with them. The wife gets back Sunday afternoon. She has bags of tablecloths, napkins, kitchen towels, etc. She is showing me what she bought. In one bag there was a smaller bag. She pulled it out, looked in it and said, "Oh, not this bag, it's not for us." I let it go. Later I looked in the bag, she had hidden it in a closet. It was decorations for a man cave for a college team I don't follow in sports, so it wasn't for me. I asked to talk with her. I asked again who all went. She gave the same 3 people. I just asked who Stevie was because we had not met. She told me a woman they work with. I pulled out the man cave stuff and told her I talked to her friend, who was supposed to be away last weekend, but her plans blew up. Then I asked who Stevie was again. She started crying and told me who he was, and yes, they were by themselves. They had sex. They have been since last year during their hospital lockdown. So now she is living in one of the finished bedrooms. I have our bedroom. I will talk to a lawyer on Monday. I have no idea what to do about the house, the business, the marriage. To me, she was sorry she was caught, but not for the affair. I asked her if she would break it off with Stevie. She was not sure.
I highly doubt this was the first time it ever happened. People don't stay married for 30 years, then just cheat out of nowhere. She has cheated before this coworker, I have zero doubt about it. This is just the first time she got caught. Sell the business, OP. Divide the assets appropriately through a lawyer. Definitely divorce her ass, okay? Here's why. She is not sorry. She seems to have no regret other than being caught. Another thing is, she's unsure whether she can or wants to stop the affair. In cases like this, don't put your life at the mercy of her uncertainty and manipulations. Make that decision yourself. Lastly, for someone to do this after 31 years of marriage is absolutely immoral. Bad enough when it's early in the marriage, but after building a life together? No. Hell no. That's just an unforgivable thing to do. At least in this situation, you have to be selfish, OP. Look out for only yourself from here on out. Now, for OP's first update.
It's been a hectic couple weeks. Along with my work and side gigs picking up, the wife and I were battling. I saw a lawyer. After I explained everything, he suggested we try to work it out before he gets involved. The house is still not a business and cannot be sold as such. We would have to sell it as a house, unfinished, which would lower the price. We have sunk well over $1,000 into the house, plus the mortgage. The lawyer will have to consult with a real estate attorney and maybe one dealing with businesses. So, their fees are going to be high. So, I tried to approach the wife to see if we could talk. I don't know if she is embarrassed being caught, but she has dug in her heels. She told me to leave the house. I told her I have no plans to do that. Then she countered with me giving up the master suite and me moving to one of the bedrooms. I again tell her I don't plan on it either. She then says she is off the next couple days and will move all my stuff out and put it in the foyer for me to decide where I am going to stay. So I end the conversation. I went out where my supplies are stored and grabbed a new door lock with the push-button keypad that I was going to install on the bedroom doors once we had guests. We can change the combination after each guest. I installed it on the master suite door. The next day I went to work. When I came home, after a day of angry messages for putting the lock on, she was livid. "How dare you lock me out of my bedroom," was her war cry. After back and forth, I asked if we could please talk. She finally agreed. Later that evening we sat down. I told her I was very hurt to find out of the affair and that I wish she would have told me she was not happy. She did not say anything. So I continued with that as far as I am concerned, the marriage is over. She just nodded her head. I then told her I have been to an attorney. This caught her by surprise, by her look. I explained what the attorney said, that it would be best if we could come to some agreement on what to do. Our largest asset is the house, and to sell it, we would take a huge loss. She just smiled and said, "I can prove that I have paid the mortgage, so the house is mine." I shook my head no. My attorney explained the house is a marital asset. Both names on the mortgage. I then pulled out a couple binders. I have every receipt that I have spent, filed by room on what has been spent. I started this just out of curiosity and just kept going as we finished rooms. I can prove I spent thousands of my money in refurbishing the house. She was caught off guard by the receipts. She has not been to an attorney. I proposed that we live peacefully, together, finish the house. We can then set the B&B up. She could buy me out of the business at that time. She dug her heels in again. No, I need to leave. If not, she has plans to move Steven in. This hurt like a bitch. I got up and got a glass of water to collect my thoughts. When I came back to the table, I told her if I see him in the house or on the property, I would start disassembling everything, that has been done. Every nail and every screw I put in, I would take out. Every light and plumbing fixture would be taken down. I said I would not destroy them, Because I own them. I would replace them with any old piece of salvage material I could find. I said think about it, consult with whoever is giving you dime store advice. Let me know. Yesterday, she came to me, we had not talked in several days. She asked if we could talk again. She had talked with our kids. I had called each and told them what's going on. Our daughter suggested to her that we stay in the house to completion. Start the business as I suggested. Then maybe I could move out but still own 50%. Mom could run the business, bringing in an employee or two to help run the place, do yard work, give mom a day off. I told her I would think about it, but my stance on Steven will not change. So, I have another appointment with attorney. The big issue is, we probably will not be in business until 2023. The outside needs much work, along with landscaping, plus we need to come up a room for one of us to live in. The room I am in is part of the rooms to rent. TLDR. The marriage is over. Now it's how to come to separation without bankrupting us.
This is where you cut your losses, honestly. This woman is evil. Disgusting, actually. She has been using you to build her dream while servicing her affair partner's needs. In my opinion, at least, sell the house as is and get out. The financial loss you will suffer is more worth it than living in hell together with your soon-to-be ex-wife. She was planning your demise from the very beginning of buying the business. She was probably planning to dump you the minute you finished the house and paying for it. Report her to HR as well as Loverboy. How two people out of work is going to run a bed and breakfast without tech knowledge and an income? This will be a nice little revenge if you leave them hanging. Somehow, she even thought she could scam you out of the property, having such a smug attitude that the house is hers and you must be out when she demanded. Now is the time. Start the divorce. Sell her and the affair partner's dream and take what you can get out of this loveless and abused marriage and walk away. Do not waste a moment. File, OP. Also, do not leave the marital home. I'm glad you did just that. If she moves her affair partner in, just kick him out. I would also try to sue his ass for breaking up your marital bond. Let's see 3 years down the line after affair partner pumped and dumped her. She will say she's sorry and that it was just a small mistake, just like all cheaters do. But right now, she's really out to hurt you. Just continue with divorce. You will land on your feet while she will lose everything. You worked in that industry since you were 18 years old. Every contractor in that town knows you. When you divorce, she will have to pay for the renovations herself. Then, it will not be viable. They will try and get cheap contractors and that will lead to expensive problems. Give her her dream. Let her affair partner deal with the problems. Stevie, with his milky cream-filled hands, will turn it into a fucking nightmare. Just make sure you're not on any papers when this goes south. From here on, it's you, yourself, and only you that matter. Explain to your adult children that you could have made the bed and breakfast work, but you don't want to be involved anymore. Their mom showed you zero loyalty, so you owe her nothing. Cheaters are rarely satisfied. They live with this delusional dream. This is clear by your wife's inability to understand divorce law. Get out of this marriage. Use HR as a leverage if you have to. She's still in the affair fog right now, so use the love that she's feeling for Stevie to get her to agree to a better settlement for you. When she gets what she wants, aka the bed and breakfast, the cost of renovating and maintaining that old house will destroy her dreams. It's the perfect revenge. Now for OP's second update.
See my profile for original post and first update. Sorry I have not updated. I am recovering from a stroke almost 4 months ago and I'm just now getting back whole. My wife and I were discussing how we would split our assets. Our lawyers said it would be best if we came to some consensus. As we were talking, the stroke hit. I was sitting 1 second, then hit the floor. My wife is a registered nurse. Thank God she saw something was wrong. When she asked if I was all right, I hit the floor. She called 911 and told them I was having a stroke. I went to the hospital for a week, then to rehab. My wife had taken a leave to care for me when I got home. I don't think I would have recovered near as well without her. She went back to work in January when she felt I could manage somewhat by myself. Our kids stop over when she works her 12-hour shifts though. I don't know if she is still seeing Stevie because she spent 2 months by my side. However, she has taken a couple 3-day holidays away. So, I think that may still be going on. Right now, divorce talk has been pushed to the side. Thank you for those asking for updates and the many messages asking where I was. I am on the mend. I have some issues walking, so going back to work is out of the question. I may have to come up with something else.
OP, I hope your recovery is going well. Just hang in there and don't sweat the divorce until you're ready. I gotta say, your soon-to-be ex-wife got one hell of a nasty side, but I'm thankful that her instincts as a nurse kicked in during the stroke. That could have went a lot worse for you. I will be very honest, you should divide your assets and property as soon as possible. God forbid if anything happens to you, she and her boyfriend will get absolutely everything. Better divide the assets and will your share to your kids or whatever you want to do in your absence. Stay safe, OP. Now, for the final update.
I hope it's the last one. Sorry I haven't updated, I know many have asked. First, I want to say how much I appreciated all the support. Especially from those on personal messages. There were multiple chats that showed real concern for me and let me use them as a sounding board. On to the update. I have filed for divorce. I was starting to waver. I think because of my health issue, I stopped seeing the whole issue. The soon-to-be ex-wife was very kind and nurturing to me in recovery. Once I was back on my feet, taking care of myself, I started realizing things. Soon-to-be ex-wife took weekends away once or twice a month. The kids would visit to help out. I now realize she was going to Stevie's place or going away with him. The kids got clued in right away. My daughter has been all over soon-to-be ex-wife. Their relationship is now nil, that is a shame. My son disapproves, but has not cut ties. We discussed divorce, dividing assets. It will be amicable. Neither of us can buy the other out. We listed the place with a business broker, I guess that's what to call him. He found a company, think Verbo, Airbnb, to give us a great offer. So, we will divorce and move when it is finalized in a month or two. The sale will go through then. My health is not all the way back and probably never will be. I have a great boss who is working with me as I grow into this new role as a project manager for him. Thanks for all the support.
OP, I'm very happy that you're recovering well. I'm also happy that you and your soon-to-be ex-wife had found a common ground to decide about the divorce in a somewhat civil way. Now you can just focus on a way to heal from it as well as the stroke. You've been through hell the past 8 months and seems to be surprisingly stoic, which is very impressive. I can only imagine on how I could deal with the mindfuck of having a wife of 30 years betraying me that way and use me as a cash cow. That's just amazing, OP. Your soon-to-be ex-wife, however, will have a hard time moving forward. Her boyfriend will constantly be looking over his shoulder, waiting for her to start cheating on him. It's inevitable with cheaters. While you recover, her nice little world with him will come crashing down around her. Don't be surprised that eventually she will want you back. Be strong and tell her to fuck right off. Good luck, OP. But before you fuck off, please consider Please consider donating to me, your host PattSun. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.